I was the one they always turned to when they needed cash, whether it was for rent, loans, or birthday gifts. And I never saw a dime returned. I let it slide, thinking that's just what family does. When my parents' 40th anniversary approached, I saw it as an opportunity to show gratitude, to do something generous for those who had, at least, tried to raise me well. So I reserved a private dining room at an upscale waterfront restaurant with crystal glasses, white-gloved waiters, and a view of the bay that looked like it belonged in a gallery. The reservation alone cost me $7,500, but I told myself it was worth it. I arrived a bit late, delayed by a work call. The room was already alive with chatter, silverware clinking against fine porcelain in the sophisticated setting. My seat right at the center was the only one still empty. Aunt Helen, who always acted like she was the family's matriarch, glanced up as I sat down. Her lips pursed briefly before she flashed a strained smile. I reached for the lobster dish in the center of the table, the most extravagant item there, when Helen leaned forward and hissed in a sharp, icy tone, "Don't touch that lobster. It's for the real family." I froze, my hand hovering mid-air, wondering if I'd misheard. Then my cousin Derek, seated to my left, let out a smug chuckle and leaned back with that arrogant smirk he always wore. "Yeah, $7,500 dinners aren't for moochers," he said, twirling his sparkling cider like he was some high roller. My face burned as I scanned the table. My sister Laura, who I'd bailed out with 4 months of mortgage payments last year, stared down at her shrimp, avoiding my gaze. Uncle Mike, who'd pleaded for a loan to prop up his failing roofing business just weeks ago, snickered into his plate. Even my parents, seated at the head of the table, stayed silent. For a moment, I felt detached, like I was watching the scene from above. These people, my own family, had just humiliated me at the very dinner I'd arranged in the room I'd paid for. They had the audacity to treat me like an outsider at my own event. I let out a short, bitter laugh. Then, slowly and deliberately, I grabbed a large piece of lobster, dipped it in warm butter, and took a bite, locking eyes with Derek the entire time. I chewed slowly, savoring the flavor as the table fell into a tense silence. I placed my napkin down, slid my chair back, and stood. Without a word, I turned and walked out. Their murmurs trailed after me through the corridor, down the grand staircase, and into the warm night air. In my car, the leather seat creaked as I gripped the steering wheel, my pulse racing. Yet, beneath the anger, I felt a strange calm. Cold, but calm. If they wanted to draw a line between us, so be it. I'd make sure it was permanent. Before pulling out of the parking lot, I called my bank. The $7,500 dinner was on my card.